Hi, it's John here from the Nail School. I just want to go through basically Builder Gel in a bottle and hard gel. Now, there are basically two types of gel. When I first started many years ago, there was only one kind of gel. That was a hard gel, and this is what this is. This is a hard gel here, as you can see, and I think this is the best kept secret going. This gel is amazing and really not expensive, but they do it in various shades and it's really good. Okay, so as I said, when I started, there wasn't even gel polish. You know, you had to use normal polish and you had to wait for it to dry, which seemed to take ages. And the only gels you could get were clear gels, but now you've got various gels which are different colors and so on. But so you've got your hard gel, you've got your Builder Gel in a bottle like this. This is the one I use, which is a Glitterbels one. You've got base coat if you want to use it, and you've got your acid-free primer. And of course, when you've finished them off, you've got your top coat. So if I want to, I've already prepped these nails as I showed you before. So if I want to apply my Builder Gel in a bottle, you can use a base coat. Well, first of all, you can add a primer. You can put primer on. I must admit, I tend not to use it. Or you can use a base coat as well after that. Then that must go in the lamp for 60 seconds. Again, I don't use a base coat. I will actually dehydrate the nail plate. Then I'll get my Builder Gel, whichever one I'm using, and I will just apply a slip layer to my nail. That was a little bit much. Again, this gel is a little bit on the cold side because it's been in a cold room. As gel gets colder, it gets thicker and it becomes a little bit more difficult to use. So I'll just go there and make sure you don't get it on the side. You can see I've got this nice long nail to do that with there. And I will go on this side as well. So I'll put a slip layer, and I normally put this slip layer on all of my 4 nails that I'm going to do. So I'm just going to actually use this little brush just to tidy up the edges a bit. As you can see, this little tiny brush. You need a brush with a very short hairs and with a very small end, and you can go around the back as well if you need to. So that must now go into the lamp for 60 seconds. So I'm just going to pop that in the lamp and I'll come back in a moment. So it's been in the lamp now for 60 seconds and I'm now going to apply my builder layer. So when you apply your builder layer, just get your Builder Gel, whichever one you're using. And then what you need to do is get a blob on the end of your brush. And then you need to apply this blob like this, as you can see. Just push it up to the back. Now what's really important here when you're using gels is that as you come down the nail, you do not let the gel let your brush leave the surface of the gel, and keep the finger level so that it doesn't run down towards the front and you get a kind of a big blob on the front. So you want to keep going with your gel here like this until you get down towards the front. Don't let the brush leave the gel. This is the most important thing. Just keep coming down until you've reached the front. Like that. Now you can use your brush here just to tidy up. You can go around the back if you feel you haven't got close enough. You need to just check your sides. Just bring that down. And then just along the edges, like this. Now you need a brush with a very small end, because as you stroke, you'll find that your lines that you've made with your brush will disappear, particularly on a day when we're not so cold. I should have put the heating on a bit earlier. So we just do that. It's at the end. Make sure you've got it nicely around the back. Like that. So that doesn't look too bad. Now I usually file my application. Some people don't, but I always file it. So I'm now going to pop that into the lamp for 60 seconds. So the gel is now applied, as you can see, and we've got a nice covering, you know, we've got the shape that we want, but I am going to file it, and I always file it. Now, when it comes out the lamp, it's going to have this sticky residue layer on it, and before you file, it's important that you wipe that off. So you just wipe it off with a isopropyl. Oops, everything's shaking. Isopropyl, but wipe it more gently. And then we've got our file, and this is a 100-180 grit file, and I'm just going to just file it. Hope it doesn't shake everything. Let's have a look. So I'm going to file it like this, come down this side, down this side, up the sides like this. It is shaking quite a lot actually, because the actual stand for the camera is actually attached to the table. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it, I'm going to file it, because you won't be able to see anything. It's just going to be shaking all over the place. Now you can also use your electric file on the top of it using your fine sanding band. Put that round to about 9 again. You don't want it running too fast, otherwise it's going to generate heat. Now if you've made a bit bulky at the back, you can just go around like that. Come down that side. Just come down the whole thing in forward direction. Don't go backwards and forwards on the nail, in other words, scrub, that's what we call scrubbing. Don't do that, because you will build up friction on the nail, particularly on gel, and what will happen is that the customer will receive a burn, a hot burning feeling, which is, you don't want to do that. So once you've done that, you can just switch this off. And then you'll need to get which I should have got, you need to get one of these, which is a sanding block. And this is a 100 grit, and you're going to go over like this to actually just smooth it out a little bit further. I'm being very careful and trying not to shake that camera. Shake, rattle and roll. I said shake, rattle and roll. Right. There we go. So once you've got that nicely done, we can just wipe it over. And I usually wipe them over like this with some isopropyl under my light, so I can use the light, which will be shining directly on top of it, to see if there's any dents or marks in the surface. And I find that as another very good tip to do. Now, obviously, from here on in, you're going to apply your gel polish or on the top, in which case, because we filed it, you must use a base coat in the lamp, colour coat that apply very thinly in the lamp, and then your final colour coat in the lamp, and then your top coat, of course. Now, if I'm just going to apply a top coat, I will just get my top coat. Is that top coat? Yeah. Okay. And what you can see is I'm actually holding this in my hand here. So if you can get used to doing that, that would be even better. So I'm just going to apply my top coat. Making sure we've got to the back and we've got down the edges, and with the top coat we always cap the front like this. So I applied my top coat. I'm just going to let that settle a moment because, as I said, being so cold in here, it's just taken a little bit longer to actually settle out into a smooth finish. And I've got my trusty nail, of course. So I'm now going to pop that into the lamp and for 60 seconds, and then we'll have a look. So there is our nail complete, and you can see we've got the top coat on now. The last thing to do would be to apply cuticle oil around the back of the nail and down the sides, and then just rub it away from the surface of the gel. Don't go all over the gel, it kind of smears it and looks awful. Right, so that's what you need to do. Now, just on your lamp, you do need a lamp that is at least 48 watts to cure gels. Now, if you do our gel extensions course, it will include the application of BIAB to natural nails and to tips as well. Although applying builder gel onto tips is not really that good, except for very short tips. If you want to do longer tips like this one here, you will need to use a hard gel, and I'm going to cover that in another video. But hard gel kind of went out of fashion, and then when builder gel came in, people still wanted to do tips without having to do acrylic, and hard gel came back in. So hard gel is now very popular. The problem with hard gel is that you can't soak it off, you have to file it off. But when you think about it, if you're just doing extensions, then all you would be doing is the infills. Just like when you're doing acrylics, you don't soak them off every time, you just do the infills. Now, you can do an infill on builder gel or BIAB, and again, it's just a matter of pushing back the cuticles, redoing the back section, in other words, doing the nail prep, which I showed you on a previous video, and then dehydrating, putting your primer if you're going to use primer, and then just filling the back with some more gel, and then under the lamp. And then where it's overlapped, it might be a little bit uneven, so you need to file it down, which I do every time anyway. So and then you just reapply your gel polish or your top coat. So I hope all that helps. I'll see you on the next video if you follow us. And if you want to find out more about who we are, where we are, all that thing, just go to our profile, and then that will give you all the information you need of how to find us. So this is John signing off for now. See you next time. Bye for now.